Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now and you are able to listen to me properly. If there is any problem with my audio or the video, please do let me know so that I can get that rectified right away. Okay. If there is any problem with my audio or the video, please let me know, guys. If there's any problem with my audio or the video, please let me know so that I can get that rectified right away. Otherwise, we'll start with the project itself. Okay, so everyone is able to listen to me properly. That's great. So we'll get started with the project in 5 minutes. Okay, today we are going to start with the ANN, that is the deep learning project. Okay, so again, how to submit the project, where to submit the project, that will be told via a separate video that I will be posting today at 12 itself. Okay, the project itself is very easy, so a deadline of 24 hours will be given to you to submit the project. That's the stipend. So 24 hours will be given to you to submit the project. After the end of this particular video itself, how to submit the project, where to submit the project, the entire process will be told to you guys in a separate video that I'll be posting before 12 midnight today. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, there was no attendance in yesterday's class. I forgot yesterday's attendance. That's why. Today there will be. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So we'll get started with in 5 minutes itself. Okay. Yeah, Ravi, I'm so sorry I was not able to respond to you because like two boot camps I have to have, and in the morning I have to do the rest of the work as well. As soon as I'm getting any time, I will be responding to all the messages. There are 3,000 messages that I've had in the past 3 days itself. That's a lot that I have to go through. So sometimes like it takes us a while, but yeah, we'll just do it. Okay, so the ShapeAI certificate will be given to anyone, and so we are having 6 days of attendance. One day I have not taken the attendance on day 6, so we are having a total number of 6 days of attendance. Anyone having 5 days or 6 days of attendance out of 6 will be given the ShapeAI certificate. Anyone who is having total number of 6 attendance itself, 6 out of 6, 100% attendance, as well as the correct project submitted according to the way that we are going to show you guys in a separate video. Those people will be getting 2 certificates, one by AWS Students Club, that is AWS Amazon, and the second one is by Google Developer Groups, that is by Google. So 2 certificates will be given to them. So 100% attendance as well as the correct project submitted, only that particular case they will be getting the certificates. And a third certificate of appreciation will be given by ShapeAI for whomsoever has completed the final registration process properly. Those students will be getting a certificate of appreciation just to appreciate their efforts to helping us grow this community. So yeah, that's the entire thing. Okay. So all the certificates explained, 24 hours for the submission of the project, how to submit the project, where to submit the project will be told to you in a separate video. What project that we are going to see right now, I'll be going through the entire project live. Okay, so I'll be doing the entire project so you guys are able to see. Okay, yeah, certificate is online. Yes, Kavita, you will be giving a e-copy of the certificate itself. Okay. Currently, in the training and internship program, we are having 21 or 22 seats available in data analyst, and in the full stack development, we are having 20 seats almost available at this particular point of time in full stack development. Yeah. Which is better, Linux, Ubuntu or Kali? According to my personal preference, if you are a beginner, then Ubuntu. If you are an expert, then Kali. I guess you are a beginner, then you should go with Ubuntu. Yes, this particular project you can easily submit it via mobile as well, so there will be no problem with that. We will be doing it on Collaboratory, so it's directly you can do it on mobile phone as well. Okay, so again, for the entire thing, I have already told you guys the certificate for 5 or 6 days of attendance. If you are having out of six, will be given the ShapeAI certificate for completion of this entire like boot camp. If you are having like 6 days of attendance, only 6 days, like 100% attendance, as well as the correct project submitted in the correct way, which we are going to show in a separate video tonight, then you will be getting the certificate via AWS and Google. So that are the two certificates that will be given to you. No, the project is very easy. Everything we have already like went over, so it will be very easy for you to understand. Yes, the seats are limited for the training and internship portion because we have limited number of instructors right now. These instructors charge us a lot, and we can only have a separate like batch started. So we if and only if the number of students are more than like a lot, then only we start an like a new batch. Otherwise, we do not do it. Okay. So yeah. My number is 7016416673. So you can contact me if you are having any problem with the training and internship portion. So I'm a little bit tired today. The web development one stretched out to be like 1 hours 45 minutes, and then I had to start this particular class as well immediately after that. So a little bit tired today, but no matter what, I'll be doing it. Okay. Yes, the project is to be done in collab. It can be done on your mobile phone as well as on your laptop, as well as on your tablet, as well as on your TV as well, if you have a smart TV. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Currently, there are two batches that we are having. For data analyst, we are having one going to start from 25th of May itself, that is in 9 days. And the second batch is going to start from 29th of June. Whereas for full stack development, it is going to start from 1st of June, that is in the next 14-15 days itself. And the second batch is going to start from the 1st of July. A total number of 20 seats are left in full stack development, and 21-22 seats are left in data analyst. I've not checked it in the past 15 minutes, but still, that's the current numbers that I am knowing that my team has told me right now. Yeah. Getting the certificates will take 1 to 2 weeks because again we have to go through a lot many number of projects, and there are many other things that we have to go through. So like it will take 1 to 2 weeks. Again, like I said, there are 4 certificates that you will receive. If you are completing the entire thing, there are 4 certificates. So if you have filled up the final registration form, any final registration for any of our boot camps, you get the certificate of appreciation by ShapeAI. Second certificate, if you are having 5 or 6, so currently we are having 6 days of attendance itself. So if you're having 5 or 6 days of attendance, you will be getting a certificate by ShapeAI, okay, for like participating in the entire boot camp. If you are having 100% attendance, that is 6 out of 6, as well as the correct project submitted via the entire method that we are going to tell you in a separate video, then you will be getting like the AWS as well as the GDG, that the Google certificate. Okay, so that is the main thing. Okay. Yeah, you will be getting the certificates via Gmail itself. There will be a 24 hours that will be given to you to submit the entire project. So it will be 24 hours. Yes, you can add all these certificates in your resume. So I'm a college student for some exam, having my exams in July. Which batch should you think I should join? See, I think it would be better to join the May batch. Then May and June you will be able to complete like most of the program. In July, if you're having your exam as well, like all the classes are recorded, recordings will be provided to you. You can attend the like doubt classes as well after that, so that you are able to ask your questions as well. So that will help you a lot. Only 24 hours will be given to like submit the project. The project itself is very simple. This is a project from the 1998 or something like that. This is a very old project. Basically what happens in the bank is that you used to write your entire checks and everything. So you used to write the numbers that okay, $560 I want to pay to this particular person using this particular kit check. So to recognize these numbers, so you write it down in a handwriting itself. You have written 56560 something like that on the check itself. So the banks had to develop a like deep learning algorithm that could look at those numbers and classify them from 0 to 9. So if I'm writing 5, I should be able to classify them as the class 5. If I'm writing 0, it should be able to classify that number as 0. If I'm writing 9, should be able to classify it as 9. Okay, so they had to make an entire like deep learning model that could be able to do this. This is a very easy classification model, very simple, extremely basic. The introductory first model that you'll be learning anywhere is this particular model itself. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to use the MNIST dataset. Okay, the MNIST dataset. We are going to use that particular dataset. It is inbuilt in TensorFlow. You don't have to worry about the same. You don't have to download anything. You do not have to do anything. You just have to go to Colab and get started working on the entire project itself. There is nothing that you have to do. You can do it from your mobile phone. You can do it on your smart TV, anywhere. Okay, so it will be very simple for you as well. Okay, time duration 24 hours itself. So there are many number of repeated questions that are coming right now. So yeah, so just like if someone is asking any repeated questions, just put up the entire thing as well. Okay, so 24 hours will be given to you for the project submission. Okay, again, use Colab. This is not a web development bootcamp. Use Colab. Okay, again, going further with the entire project itself, let us get started. So I've explained a little bit about the project as well, how to do it, where to do it, and we'll get started right away with the entire deep learning neural network. Okay, so let's get started with the same. So importing the data set, first of all, we need the data set. So we need the books which will be provided to the students to learn. Yesterday we have studied about the concept of the books, that is the data set that needs to be provided to the student, that is the model to learn the entire thing itself. So the data set that we are going to use is the MNIST data set. Okay, we can directly import the data set by writing, okay, I'll just increase the size right now. I think so this should be more than sufficient for the size of the entire thing. So we'll be importing from keras.datasets import MNIST. Okay, so we are importing from keras.datasets. That is the keras is a particular like entire how can you say entire framework for various different applications that is used in machine learning as well as in deep learning and various other branches of computer science as well. But Keras is a framework that is available to us, an API that is available to us, and we are using the datasets portion, datasets function, dataset module of that particular Keras API, and we are going to import MNIST from that MNIST dataset. That is the dataset that we want to use. Okay, so to import the entire dataset, you just have to run this particular block of code. You will get from keras.datasets import MNIST. Data is equals to MNIST.load data. You are importing the data and you are loading the data that you have imported. You are loading the data that you have imported to a variable called as data. Okay, you want to import the data. So you have imported the data using from keras.datasets import MNIST. Then you want to load that data. You want to save that data into a particular variable that you are able to use. You want to name that entire like data as a particular variable. So you are writing data is equals to MNIST.load data. Okay, so again, so many people are asking some repeated questions right now in the live chat. Please be very kind to me and try to answer them if like you are getting some time on the same thing. Okay, so you will be able to do it. The notebook will not be provided to you. You will have to watch the video to make your own notebook from scratch. Okay, so I'll be telling you guys how to submit the project, the entire process of making the notebook itself in a separate video that I'll be uploading before midnight tonight. Okay, this notebook will not be provided anyway. This video will be on YouTube for the rest of your life. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Okay, so first of all, you imported the dataset. Okay, from keras.datasets import mnist. You are importing the mnist dataset. Now you want to load the dataset into a variable. You want to save that dataset into a variable. So load data is basically a function that basically downloads the entire dataset from that particular like module itself. So you are having a module called as mnist that you have imported. Now that library mnist has a particular function called as load data. This particular function downloads the files from the servers of Keras and saves it to a particular variable called as data. So you are having a data and you are saving the entire data set into that particular data. Okay, so running this particular line of code, you will be first importing it, you will be downloading it, and then you will be saving it into data. Now if I'm putting a new line of code right over here and I want to see what this data is, so just like let's run data itself just to see what data actually looks like. Okay. So this is an array. As you are able to see, this is an array of the entire data itself. There's a many number of things that are there. I'm not able to understand anything at this point of time. The reason is because the entire thing is very gibberish written itself. Okay, but we will look into it. Okay, don't worry about it. We will try to understand what the entire data is. So we'll just delete it because that's not what we want to have in our like final project submission. Okay, so now once we have imported the data set, okay, we have imported the data set, we have loaded the data set. Now we want to like so this is data instead of writing like mnist.load. So we have already done mnist.load right now. Okay, we have loaded the data, we have downloaded the data, and we have saved it in the like a variable called as data itself. Okay, so data basically now contains the variable data now contains the entire data set that we are going to use. So we want to split the entire data set into X train, Y train, and X test, Y test. What is this? Okay, this is what we want to do right now. But yeah. Okay, so what is the type of data? Let us see that as well. So type and then type of data. Let's see what happens. It's a tuple. Okay, so data is basically a tuple right now. Okay, it's a tuple of various different data sets. So we are going to look into it. Don't worry about the same. Okay, so data is a tuple right now, but still you have saved the entire thing into data. You want to, so you are having a data set itself. So let us go back to our drawing board. You are having your data set. Okay, you are having some data set that is right now you have downloaded. Okay, you use the load data and you have your data. Okay, so now you want to split. So this is your guidebook. This is your guidebook. What you want to have is two separate things from this particular guidebook itself. One portion is your training data and the testing data. Okay, you want to have some training data as well as the testing data. So the training data and testing data, what we can do is we can divide this guidebook into two separate portions. Okay, into two separate parts. One will be the training data and one will be the testing data. Okay, this is what we want to create. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Okay, that we are having our data set, we want the training data and the testing data. So we'll divide the data set itself into train and test. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Are you guys able to understand this? Like we have got the data, we want to separate it into training data and testing data. Okay, so this is what we want to do at this particular point of time. Why do we want to do it? Because we have learned it yesterday itself that we want a training data on which you are able to learn everything, and on the testing data where you want to test the entire model itself. Okay, so right now in your data set there are two particular points. Okay, the X and the Y. X is basically the data itself, that is like the digits. Okay, so you are having 7, 8, 0. So this is basically what you were able to see on your screen. I will go into this. Okay, what you were seeing, that arrays and everything, what was that? We'll go into that. But first of all, you are having two parts to the entire data. The X portion that basically contains the data itself, that okay, this is 7, this is 8, and Y that contains the number 7 and 8, that this is the class 8, this is the class 7. Okay, so X is basically the data in the data set and Y is the label associated with that particular data. The data set itself has two portions to it: the X, that is the data itself, that is the picture of that particular data, and Y, that is the label of that particular data. So that is like 7, that is like 8. Are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? So Rahul, I have paid for data analyst 25th May the slot. I didn't get any mail from ShapeAI. See, one of the major things, like one of the reasons people, I have got this complaint a lot, many number of times, that I've not got any mail or something like that. We have sent receipts only to those mail which you have written down when we were asking you to pay. Okay, so either there are two possibilities. One, you have not written the correct email, you have made some spelling mistake. I've seen people writing the spelling of Gmail as Gmail. Okay, not even I, like Gmail. What is Gmail? Like, it will not get delivered to you at the important point. So don't worry about it, Rahul. Okay, you will be added to the WhatsApp group. We have asked about your WhatsApp number, your phone number as well. If the email is not being transferred to you, we'll be cross checking it again and again, and then we'll add you to the WhatsApp group. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. So up till this particular point of time, people are able to understand. So we are having your data and we are having the label. So this is what we are having inside the data. Now we need to understand one more thing. How does a image function? Okay, you are having this image. Okay, currently whatever image that you are able to see, this is a particular image, and you are having some type of like mountain scenario right over here. Okay, so like this is your image. Okay, so how does the machine understands this image? That is what we want to understand at this particular point of time. Okay, so how does the entire laptop or the entire computer understands this image as? Laptop only understands, your computer only understands numbers. It does not understand images. So you're having a pixel. Okay, you are having a pixel on your screen. Okay, this pixel can take up values from 0 to 255. Okay, 0 meaning like ekdam black, and 255 means white. Okay, that can be reversed as well. There are many cases in which we can reverse it as well. We will be able to see that. So you are having this. So this image consists of a many number of pixels. Okay, the value of this particular pixel will be, let us just take up a new example. So in the data set itself, you are having your image. Okay, and you are having a 7 being printed on your screen. Okay, so you are having this 7 right over here. Okay, so this is the image that is present in our data set. Okay, for 7. So how can we divide this entire thing into like pixels? Just make like the rows and columns of different things. So just start making rows and columns. Okay, and you will be able to divide the entire picture into a grid-like structure. Each of these grids is called as one pixel, and whenever it is black, think of it as the value as 0, and whenever it is white, okay, think of the value of the pixel as 255. Okay, so whenever the value is white, think of it as 255. Whenever the value is black, think of it as 0. So what you are able to get is basically a matrix. You are able to get a matrix of numbers. Okay, you are able to get an 2D array of numbers itself, having like 0 0 0 0 0 0, and whenever there is like white portion, then it will look like 255 255 255 255 255 255 255. So this entire thing will look something like this. Everything else is 0, and whenever there is 7, there is like 255 written on your screen. So the entire image can be explained in the format of a 2-dimensional matrix of just numbers. That's it. Okay, this is in grayscale. I'm talking about gray videos itself. That's why I only have one thing. I'm not going into colored images. I'm just having a black and white picture. So you're having like zeros wherever there's black, and wherever there's white, you are having your 255. Now they can range as well. So for example, you are having something gray. Okay, it's not exactly black, it's not exactly white. So the value will be in between 0 to 255. Okay, it will be in between. So it can be like 250 or 149 or something like that as well, because it's a little bit gray in nature. Okay, are you able to understand like why we were able to see the arrays when we just like write data? We were able to see a lot of arrays. Basically, inside the tuple itself, you are having an x, that is these arrays itself. These arrays are your x, and you are having a value y, that is 7. That is basically your label. So the entire like data set basically contains of two aspects: the two-dimensional matrices, okay, and the label associated with that. One pixel can either be black or either be white or gray in color. It will only have one value. Okay, so 250 will be a little bit gray, 10 will be a little bit less than white towards black. Okay, you cannot have half of the thing as white and half of the thing as black. That's not possible. Then there will be 2 pixels. If that is the case, then there will be 2 pixels itself. Okay. Okay, are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Please guys do let me know. Okay, great guys. So we want to divide the entire thing. We want to divide the entire data set into 2 portions. Okay, the train and the test. Now the data set itself has 2 portions, the x and the y. So when you're making the train, you will have to create x train and x and y train. And when you are creating the test, you will have to create x test and the y test. Okay, because the data set itself has 2 portions to it, x and y. Okay, so you will have to divide it. When you're dividing into train and test, you will have to divide it into x train and y train, and x test and y test. Okay, so that is something that you have to do. Okay, तो प्रोजेक्ट कब मिलेगा और प्रोजेक्ट फाइल कैसे अपलोड करेंगे? प्रोजेक्ट नहीं मिलेगा. दिस इज द ओनली प्रोजेक्ट दैट यू हैव टू डू. वी विल नॉट बी गिवन एनी टाइप ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट फाइल्स, हाउ टू सबमिट द प्रोजेक्ट, वेयर टू सबमिट द प्रोजेक्ट, दैट you will be given a video of on YouTube where you will be able to see tonight itself. I'll be uploading that particular like video on how to submit the project itself. And the second thing is you have to do the exact same project that I'm doing right now. You do not have to change anything in the entire project. Okay. Okay, so that's done right now. So you will be dividing the entire thing into x train and y train and x test and y test. So you are having a data. Okay, so you will be dividing the data into x train and y train and x test and y test. So this is basically a tuple of tuples. Okay, data is a tuple. We already know data is a tuple. Are you guys able to hear me properly? Data is a tuple. Okay, you want to divide the entire tuple into a tuple of tuples. Okay, that is just the multiple assignment operator. If you guys remember, we have already dealt with this in tuple. This is just a more advanced version of the same thing. Okay, you're just dividing the data itself a tuple. We have already seen that. Let me just show you. So code type data, and you are able to see that the type of data is actually tuple. So data itself is a tuple, and this is basically a tuple of tuples. So you are just like, if I'm just putting a bracket around it, you are able to see it much more clearly that the left hand side is basically a tuple of tuple itself. So this is basic, a small like example of how you can like make the entire thing. You can do the like assignment very easily. Okay, so yeah, just running this particular line of code, it will divide the entire like data into a tuple of tuples itself. So now x train, y train has its own data and the labels associated with it, and x test, y test has its own data and the associated written for the same. Do we need a laptop for the internship program? If you are doing the data analyst training and internship program, no, a laptop will not be required. But if you are doing the full stack development training and internship program, a laptop is essential. Even a Pentium or an i3 laptop will also do. But still moving further, of course, like when you are going to go do a job or something like that, you need a laptop at the end of the day. Suppose the pixel is neither white or black, the value assigned will be 0 to 255. So we are not hard coding it. That's the main thing. Like the 7 that you have written, it will have like values from 255 to like 150 or something like that. You never know. When you're writing 8, it will be in another shape, because I can write 7 in like 100 different ways. Okay, so when I'm writing 7 at my screen itself right now, I can write 7 as this, I can write 7 as this, I can write 7 as like something like this, I can write 7 as like this, I can add 7 like this, I can like 7 as this. Okay, so like I can write 7 in multiple different ways as well. So you cannot hard code it that okay, if it is matching this particular pattern 255 255 and then like 255 255, then only like it is 7. That's the main point. This is deep learning. It will make its own rules. You just have to provide this data to them, the different ways in which you can write 7. You just have to provide the model with this particular data with their associated levels, that these all are 7 in nature. You have to feed into the model itself. It will make the rules for you and give you the output. That's it. That's what you have to do. Okay. Okay, so moving further with this, now we will be seeing how the exact thing looks like. You do not have to write this code. I'm just putting it up right over here in comments. Okay, not to be included in the project. Okay, so this is something that is just to show you guys how the entire thing looks like. Okay, this is not to be included in project. I'm not going through the code as well because I don't want you guys to be confused with it. Okay, so that particular portion you do not have to include in the entire project. I'll be showing you an example of how the project should be made. Okay, so just for information purpose, how the data actually looks like. So this is an example of 5. Okay, this is an example of 0. This is an example of 4, and this is an example of 1. Okay, so these images are 28 by 28 in size. Okay, that is 28 pixels by 28 pixels. Okay, so these are the images that you're able to see when I'm scrolling in right over here. So this will be like 255 or something like that, but when I'm going on the outskirts, these will be like 150 or something like that. These will be like 200 or something like that. Okay, so there are various different colors as you're able to see. It's not just the exact white. It is a little bit of like gray and above as well. So again, saying this particular thing not to be included in the project that you will be making, just for information purpose, just so that you guys are able to understand how the data is actually looking like, I've included it right over here. Okay, so let's look at the shape of the training data. Like I said, the entire data itself is 28 by 28, so x train 0. So I'm getting the first instance of the thing as well. So the first example, the first image. So x train 0 will give me the first image. The first image has a shape of like the 28 by 28 pixels, that is 28 rows by 28 columns. Okay, so that's the main thing. X train 0 dot shape 28 pixels by 28 pixels. Okay, so that's the shape of the first data that you're having. Okay, so again, going to the board, this particular data set, so you are having your x train. So you divided the entire data set in x train and y train. So in the x train, okay, when you are going inside the entire thing, you are having your different images. Okay, these are the different images that is having. Okay, so at the index 0, you are having some image. Okay, the image is basically represented as a 2-dimensional array, okay, of numbers. The image itself is represented as a 2-dimensional array of numbers. So the shape, SHAPE shape, that basically gives you the shape of that particular 2-dimensional array. That is how many rows, how many columns is present inside in that particular shape itself. So you are getting 28 by 28, that is 28 pixels by 28 pixels. Okay, so 28 pixels in the rows and 28 pixels in the columns. So you are having a total number of pixels as 28 into 28, so whatever that is. Okay, so that is the total number of pixels that are included in one image itself. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Please let me know, guys. Okay. Okay, so people are able to understand. That's great. So as you are able to see, we are getting a shape of 28 by 28 pixels at this particular point of time. Now what we want to do is, the problem that we are having currently is that this is in a 2-dimensional array. So the entire image, each image is present as a 2-dimensional array itself. You are having a 2-dimensional array of 28 rows by 28 columns, and this is how the entire image is present at this particular point of time. Now once creating your model, when you will be creating your machine learning model, so I will just use some other color at this particular point of time just to make a little bit different. So when you are having a model, okay, ML model, you are having a DL model, okay, deep learning model that you have created at this particular point of time. You want to put it inside some inputs. You want some inputs to be fed into that particular model. So this input that is present is just in one dimension itself. The current input that you are having is in 2 dimensions, but you want that same input in just 1 dimension itself. You do not want the input to be in 2 dimensions. You want to convert the current array from 2 dimensions to 1 dimension itself. Okay, you want to convert the entire array, that is the entire image, from like 28 by 28, like 28 rows by 28 columns, into like 28 into 28 rows and 1 column. You want to convert it from 28 rows and 28 columns to 28 into 28 rows and 1 column. So let me just first of all check what is 28 into 28. So calculator, 28 into 28 is equals to 8. So 28 to the power 2 is equals to 784. So we are having 784 pixels. Going back to the nil board, just reserving this right over here. So what we want to have is 728 pixels right over here, 728, whatever the value was, 726 or something like that. So we want to have 28 by 28, 784. Okay, so 784 pixels. So we want to convert the current array from 28 by 28, that is the 2-dimensional array. We want to convert it to 784 rows and 1 column. Okay, we want to just compress it in a single row itself. We want to have a single row. We want to convert like the 2-dimensional array into 1-dimensional array. But the question, so up till this particular point of time, we are able to understand why do we want to convert it, because we want only a 1-dimensional array to be fed into the input to our deep learning algorithm. But how to do it? That's the main question right now. How to do it? Okay, so let's think of this in such a way. We are having a particular 2-dimensional, we are having a 2 by 2 array. Okay, we want to, so 2 rows by 2 columns itself. So we want to convert it into a single row having 4 different units itself. We want to convert it into 4,1. Okay, how can we do that? Let's try to understand it right over here. What we can do is we can just take out the lower portion. Okay, so there are 2 layers for the same, the first layer and then the second layer. We are having 2 layers on top of each other. What if we take out the bottom layer from the bottom of the entire 2-dimensional array and we attach it to the end of the first layer itself? Okay, we take out this particular area, okay, we take this out, okay, as separate. So this is the entire thing, this we have taken out, and then we append it at the end of the first row itself. So it will look something like this. You are having your first and then your second right over here. Just highlighting the second row so that we are able to understand that we have just taken it out and put it at the end of the entire thing. Then you will be able to get what you want. Okay, are you guys able to understand it? Yeah, this is 1 cross 4. Just like I'm just giving an example right now. Just try to understand the example at this point of time. Why do we want to convert? I've already told you guys that the input to the deep learning algorithm, you will be creating a deep learning algorithm. We want to put an input to the same as well. So the input is basically in 1 dimension itself. You want to have a 1-dimension input itself. Okay, so to convert the entire 2-dimensional image to 1 dimension, how can we do it? Okay, so that is the main thing. Like we will just remove the second row, attach it to the third, then the third row, then attach it to the end of it. So if we are looking at a particular example, so we are having like 3 by 3, 2 by 3. Okay, right now. Okay, let's have 2 by 4. Okay, so how we'll do it? So let's just mark it in different colors. So this is the second one, this is the third one, and let's see, this is the fourth one. So these are the 4 rows in the entire, like this is like 4 rows and 2 columns. We want to convert it into like 1 column, and we want to have just 1 row, and we want to have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 columns. Okay, so how to do that? First of all, you will be having your first array itself. The second one will be cut out and will be posted at the end of it, so it will look something like this. Okay, then the third one will be cut out and posted at the end of the same thing. So the entire thing would look something like this. Okay, so this is how it will be looking at the end of the entire thing. So are you guys able to understand? What we are going to do is we are going to take out the rows and just append it at the end of the entire thing. Okay, this is how we'll be doing it. Okay, like the entire concept of how we'll be doing it. Okay, but this is Python. Python always tries to make our lives easier. So Python already has some functions for us that we can directly use to do this exact same thing, so that we do not have to write the entire code from scratch. Okay, so let's go back to our Safari. Okay, there, as you are able to see, we have a particular function called as reshape, where we'll reshape the xtrain and ytrain functions for our application. Okay, so xtrain is equals to, so the new xtrain is equals to xtrain. Vishal, I have already explained it thrice that why do we need to convert into one dimension, because you're having a deep learning model. The deep learning model can only take inputs in one dimension itself, and currently the input that you're currently having is a two-dimensional picture. So we need to convert the image from 2 dimensions to 1 dimension. Okay, so what we want to do right now is we want to reshape the entire training data. Okay, so the training data currently is xtrain. Xtrain basically contains a lot many number of like rows and columns right now. So first of all, how many rows basically xtrain contains, we first need to look into that, and then we need to utilize it. Okay, again, the data set is right over here. I've used the mnist data set directly, keras.datasets, import mnist. Nothing needs to be changed in the entire project. Okay, the description of the project has already been given. I think so you are late for the entire thing. Okay, so xtrain is equals to xtrain.reshape. Okay, we want to reshape, so the shape that we want to reshape it into, that needs to be given first, and then like as type float 32. So that is basically very different. We will look into that first of all. First of all, we need to figure out to which particular shape do we want to reshape the entire thing to. Okay, so we want to have the entire thing reshaped to 1 row. Okay, and 28 comma 28 like this is the shape that we want the entire thing to be reshaped to. Okay, this is how we want to reshape the entire thing. So how to do that? Very simple. First of all, we need to understand the xtrain data. What is the xtrain data? Is it the picture itself? No, it is the collection of pictures. So you're having a lot many number of pictures. Each picture is of 28 by 28 size. So the xtrain looks something like this. Okay, so xtrain looks something like this. So you are having your, for example, like 150 images. Right now I'm just considering a random number. We are having 150 images. So the shape of xtrain will be 150. That is 150 number of things, and then comma 28 into 28. So that is basically like the entire thing. Let us just look at the xtrain shape right now. First of all, so let us keep a main code, and then let's put train train, and we want to do shape shape for the same dot shape. Let us just rerun this particular line of code. You are able to get like we are having 60,000 images. Okay, we are having 60,000 images, and we are having 28 by 28. Each of the images are 28 by 28 in length and width. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? No, I will not be showing the project again in the video at 12 o'clock. That will be only how to submit the project itself. Okay, so you are having 60,000 images. So again, going back to the drawing board, the xtrain that you have created, is having 60,000 images, and each image is having a particular length and width of 28 pixels by 28 pixels. So the entire like shape for xtrain basically looks like 60,000, that is the number of images, and 28 by 28, 28 in length and 28 in width, each of these images. So now we want to reshape xtrain from 60,000 into 28 by 28, okay, to 60,000 into 28 by 28. We want to convert this entire thing from this. Okay, just try to understand this. This is how it currently looks like. Okay, you are having 60,000 images, and each of them are 28 by 28 in length and width. So this is how it actually looks like right now. Okay, this is how it actually looks like. We want to convert it from this to again 60,000. Okay, you want to have the entire 60,000 images right now as well. Okay, but you want to have the entire image in a single row. So this is the 784. Okay, this is 784 or whatever it was. Each of the image, now you want it to be in a single row itself. This is what you want to do. So now early on the shape was 60,000. Okay, comma 28, comma 28. This was the early, like what was there in the previous, like the original X-train. You want to convert it from there to a shape of 60,000 into 784. That is 28 multiplied by 28. Okay, so this is the main thing that we want to do. We want to convert it from this 60,000 comma 28 comma 28 to this 60,000 comma 784. Are you able to understand that at this particular point of time? This was the original one, how the original one was looking and how we want it to look right now. Are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Please let me know. We are using black and white. We are not using RGB. We are using black and white images. We have already shown you how the images look like. So these are black and white. Are you able to see some color in this? No, this is black and white. Are you able to understand up till this particular point of time? To which shape do we want it to be converted? Okay, amazing guys, amazing. So the code for the same thing is xtrain dot reshape. We want to reshape it. Then inside of parenthesis we want to put in the shape of the entire thing. So xtrain dot shape 0. So we have seen what is xtrain dot shape. It gives us 60,000, a tuple. It gives us a tuple, answer as tuple 60,000, 28, 28. Okay, so we want this 60,000. We do not know at this particular point of time what is the entire shape of the entire thing. So we can directly write xtrain.shape and this is a tuple and we want to access the 0th element from the same thing. We want to access the 0th element. The 0th element is 60,000. You are able to access the 0th element and you are able to get 60,000. So if you are replacing this entire thing with 60,000, it will work the exact same way. There's no difference between the two things. Just because you do not know at this particular point of time, we are directly using the main thing itself. So just let me just reload the entire web page. So if we convert it into a single column and 280 rows, it will work for the model. No, it will not work, guys. Like I said again, we need to convert it into proper, like each of the row itself is a particular input to your data, your deep learning model. Okay, each of the rows itself is an input to your deep learning model. Are you able to understand? Each row that you have been, after reshaping the entire thing, each row is an input to your deep learning model. That's the main point that I'm trying to say to you guys. Each row is an input to your deep learning model. Okay, so and then we want to convert it to as type float 32. That is, we want to convert it into 1.0. Okay, that's the main thing. Okay, you do not have to type any of the visualizations of the data. Don't worry about the same thing. Okay, the the deadline is 24 hours itself after the end of this particular video. Okay, so dot as type. So once you have done with the entire reshape, so this is the entire code for the reshape that has been highlighted right now. So xtrain dot reshape, xtrain dot shape 0 and then 28 into 28, and then you want to convert all the values present inside of it, that is 0 1 2 3 4 up to 255. You want to convert it into float. Okay, you don't want it to be as an integer itself, you want to convert it into float. So we will just type at the end of it dot as type float 32. Okay, this will convert all the numbers. All the numbers are currently integers 0 to 255. You will be converting into floats. Okay, so float 32 to convert all the numbers into float. Okay, float 32 is 32-bit float numbers itself. So basically that specifies how many precision does it add. Okay, so the entire thing can hold up to 32 bits. Okay, 10 to the power minus 32 into 2. So that will be the entire thing. Okay. Float 32 is basically the data type. You are having a float. Now you are also specifying the entire bit rate of the entire thing as well. How many bits it can contain. Okay. So that is float 32 bits. Okay. So once you have done with the reshaping of the entire thing as well, you will have your normalizing values from 0 to 255 to 0 to 1. So what you want to do right over here is, now the entire image, the entire image is a particular image itself. So the values that you're currently having in the entire image ranges from 0 to 255. When you're feeding it inside a deep learning model, okay, a deep learning model may mistake a mistake that, okay, 255 has a lot of value when compared it to 0. Okay, or 255 is like having a lot of value. It can assign it to heavier weights and then utilize it from right over there. You never want that. You never want any type of biasing coming in your entire model prediction. Just because the number is greater, it is comparing it to 1 and saying that, okay, 1 is very small than 255, so like 1 does not matter, only 255 matters. You do not want to do that. You want to have like, okay, even if it is 0 or 255, you want to have like both of them have the same weights, both of them have the same preference when it comes to there is no like divergence towards like, okay, 255 is greater, so this is the most important thing, pixel, the most important value in your data itself. You do not want that. So to do that, you normalize the entire data set. Okay, you normalize the entire data set from 0 to 255 to 0 to 1. Okay, to do that, what you will be doing, you will be dividing all the pixels by 255. Okay, any pixel value, you will divide it by 255. So pixel value ranges from 0 to 255. When you divide it by 255, you will get all the values as 0 to 1. So this is called as normalization in Colab. Okay, it's called as normalization in Colab. Vicky, I think so you have joined in late. Please watch the entire stream from start and you will be able to understand everything. Okay, same as VIP gaming as well. I've already answered all the questions, how to do the projects as well as where to do the projects. Again, how to do the download. Again, there's no download for the dataset itself. Again, you are late, I guess. We have already done this from datasets.krs.datasets import mnist. That's there directly. We do not have to download anything or any sort of that particular stuff itself. Okay. Okay, so now we'll normalize the entire dataset from 0 to 255 to 0 to 1. Once we are done that, all the like values have been normalized at this particular point of time. Let us just check that once. Okay, so let us do a particular like code right over here. Code, and let's just print out X train. Okay, we will just print out X train and let's see what is the answer. So we are okay. Let's go with like X train 0. Okay, just let's see the first example itself. We are able to see that those values which were closer to 255 have now the values of 0 to 99, like 0.9999, and those values we were closer to 0 are basically 0 itself. And we are having like 0.062751 as well. So all the values have now been converted into like from 0 to 1 itself. So that is what I'm trying to show you guys right now. So once we have normalized the entire thing, now we want to like do some of the categorical thing as well. So currently what we are having at this particular point of time is that okay. What if the GRED grid is not fully covered? What if it contains mix of two colors, for suppose? Currently, the dataset does not contain any mix of two colors. Okay, it's just black and white right now. When you are having multicolored, you will have multiple channels. For green, you will be having like one channel. You will be having one channel for red. You will be having one channel for blue. That's very different. You do not have to worry about it. Right now, it's just black and white. Okay. Okay, so once again, for the last time, I'm just telling you guys again, because there's a lot we have to cover right now. I cannot be go on asking the entire same questions again and again. For the project, we are having some pictures of numbers, okay, from 0 to 9. We want to take these pictures in. We want to categorize them from 0 to 9 itself, okay, so that we are able to use it moving further. Okay, this is the gist of the entire project. You have 24 hours to do the same project that I'm doing, no changes at all. You do not have to do any kind of like visualization or all those kind of stuff. I've directly told you guys not to do the visualization, just the core project itself, the same project. The project will not be provided to you. It will be available in this particular video itself. You will have 24 hours. How to submit the project, where to submit the project, that will be showcased to you in a separate video that I'll be shooting after this particular class is over and uploading it before 12 midnight itself. You will have to follow the exact same process to how to submit your project. Okay, that's everything about the project and everything else as well. Okay, let's continue with the same. Anyone who is entering late can go through the entire like video to understand it. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to change it to categorical. So what is happening right now is, okay, so right now we are having the labels, okay, that is the y labels as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are the labels that we are having at this particular point of time. What should be the output on your screen? Okay, so what should be the output? So you saw that, okay, there was some problem with like the images were in 2D, you converted into 1D and then fed it into your deep learning model. Okay, but the output, how should be the output be perceived as? We've already talked about this in yesterday's class. When you are having output to a deep learning model, okay, it is basically either 1 or 0. Okay, so you are having 1 or 0, 1 or 0, 1 or 0, 1 or 0, and so on and so forth. If this is 1, that means it is 0. If this is 1, this means it is 1. If this is 1, this means 2. If this is 1, this means 3. So for each number, each output, so if you are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 0 as well. So the entire thing will look something like, okay, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, then for 1 it will be 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. For 2 it will be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and so on and so forth. For 3 it will be 0, 0, 0, 1. For 4 it will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. 5 will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and so on and so forth. So this is one of the cases in which how you can do it. Okay, so when you are having like the entire thing is like full of zeros itself, then it will like point it out to 9. Okay, so this is the main thing that you have to understand, that currently the y-axis basically have these numbers. You want to change it to these categorical variables. Okay, you want to represent 0 by this number itself. You don't want to represent 0 by 0. You want to represent the entire number as 1 and then followed by 9 zeros or 8 zeros. This is called as changing it into categorical variables. Okay, this is called as changing it into categorical variables. Okay. Thank you, Tejaswini, for answering the question. Thank you so much. Okay. So that's the main thing. You want to change the output. You want to change the labels into categorical variables as well. So moving back to the entire thing. Again, this is Python. Will try to make your life easier. Okay, so you just have to do from keras.utils import nputils. Okay, that is numpy utils. Okay, so this is a particular module that you are going to import from keras.utils. Okay, then you have to write ytrain is equals to np.utils to categorical ytrain. Okay, and then ytest is equals to np.utils to categorical ytest. This will convert your ytrain and ytest into two categorical variables. We have already seen what a categorical variables look like. Okay, so when I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that the entire thing has been printed. So num classes is equals to ytest.shape1. So basically, like right now okay, let us put it as two separate things. Okay, let us have it as ytest. So let us print. So let us print the shape of ytest first. Okay, what is the shape of each of these ytest, and then at the end as well, we'll print the shape after all the things have been done. So num CLA SSES classes. So we'll just put some space between everything so that it's very predominantly we are able to see the entire thing as well. Let's run it. Okay. So we need to first rerun the entire thing because I've already run this, so no problem. We'll just go on running the entire thing from start just to reload the entire thing. Okay, so we are getting some error right over here. Tuple index out of range. Okay. So let's put it as shape itself. I have to do it once again. Okay, so basically what you are able to see from right over here is, first of all, ytest.shape. Okay, that is basically showing you the shape of the original ytest, what you were having in the initial period. Okay, so the shape was 10,000 comma nothing. So that means like just one column, only a single column of 10,000 like rows, because we have divided into like test and train. Okay, so just 10,000 have been put into test. So the test has 1,000 instances of labels, each of them having a particular number itself, that is from 1 to something. Okay, that's the main thing. Once we have done the NP utils to categorical for train, you have to do the same thing for test as well, because you want to have the same thing in test as well. So once you have done that, when we are seeing the n like num classes, let's put up the entire like ytest.shape itself. Let us see what happens right over here. So ytest.shape, you will be able to see that we will have 10,000 comma 10 comma 2. Okay, that means we are having 10,000 instances right now as well. But right now we are having 10, like we are having 0 1 0 0 0 0 1, or then like something like that for each of the things that we have seen at this particular point of time. So the entire thing, that is like these 10,000 instances, okay, the number of rows remains the same, but each of these instances, from having like just 1 or 0 or 2 or 3, have now been changed to 10, like 10 digits in size. Why? Because we have done two categorical to them. Are you guys able to understand this? We have done two categorical to them. Are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? We have done two categorical. So the entire thing now, instead of having just one column, is having 10 columns right now. And each of the columns is having values of 0 or 1. Are you able to understand this? Again, I'm repeating once again. I've just repeated once more. Okay, so you are having your 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, you are having a deep learning model. Your deep learning model needs some categories. Okay, you need some categories. Okay, so you are having 10 different categories from 1 to 0 to 9. Okay, so each of these nodes can only have values of 1 or 0. It cannot have value as 1 2 3 4. You can only have binary values in each of the output nodes. So to represent 1, you will have to represent it as 0 1 0 0 0 0 0. That means whenever any particular node is 1, that means that is the number that it is. Okay, so this is 1 and the rest of them will be 0. That means that this number is 1. Okay, if it is 0, then this will be 0 and this will be 1. That means that, okay, the first one is 1. That means this number is 0 and the rest of them will be 0. Okay, so this is called as two categorical. To convert from a number, from a digit to categorical, that is 1 will be represented by 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0. 2 will be represented by 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0. 7 will be represented as 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0. This is how 7 will be represented too. Okay, so that's the main thing. So now this is how the output should have been. This is not exactly one hot encoding. This is just called two categorical, to just convert it into categorical itself. Okay. Okay, so that's great. So everyone is able to understand up till this particular point of time. Now we need to import, like now we want to start building our deep learning model itself. Okay, so we need to import some of the things that we are going to use in the entire thing. Okay, so we will not be using dropout, so we can just remove this right now. So from keras.models import sequential, from keras.layers import dense. Okay, so what does sequential mean? Sequential mean that the layers, that is, you are having your input layer, then the hidden layer, then you are having your another hidden layer, then you are having your output layer. So all the layers that are present inside the deep learning model are one after the other. So that is called as sequential. All the layers are present one after the other. So that is called as sequential in nature. So you are importing like the sequential, like the model should be sequential. Then the layers itself. So you are having two layers. You are having an input layer and then the hidden layer. Then you are having your first hidden layer and the second hidden layer. All the neurons present in the first hidden layer should be connected to all the neurons that are present in the first hidden layer. All the neurons that are present in the first hidden layer should be connected to all the neurons that are present in the second hidden layer. All the neurons present in the second hidden layer should be connected to all the neurons present in the output layer. So that's the main concept. This is called as the entire model is dense in nature. All the neurons in one layer are connected to all the neurons present in the other layer. So this is a dense model itself. We have imported keras.models import sequential, keras.layers import dense. Okay. So we have imported that right now. Now we need to define the model itself. So first of all, the model is sequential in nature. That is the, like, you are having your input layer, then the hidden layer, then the second hidden layer, then the output layer. There are one after the other itself. So the model is sequential. So you'll just define the model. Model, that's a variable for the model itself, is equals to sequential, and then brackets, just defining that this is sequential in nature. Then first add hidden layer. So we'll add the first hidden layer itself. So model dot add dense, as it is dense in nature, it should be connected to all the previous nodes itself. So dense 32, that is, it is containing 32 neurons. Okay, so you are having a, I will just draw this as well. Input dim is 28 into 28, that is, the input should be of 28 by 28 size, and the activation in each of these neurons is ReLU. Okay, so just drawing this entire thing on the screen right now, just drawing the entire thing on the screen right now, this will look something like this. Okay, so this hidden layer basically is saying that, okay, this is the hidden layer. It contains 32 neurons inside of it. So the number of neurons is 32. It takes an input from another layer that is of 28 cross 28 in shape. That is the, like, what we have converted the entire data set into. So this is the input neuron, the input layer. This is the, like, hidden layer. Each of these neurons have ReLU as the, like, activation function. Each of the neurons have ReLU as the activation function, and this is dense in nature. That means all the neurons present in the input layer are connected to all the neurons present in the hidden layer. So that is dense in nature. So it will look something like this. Okay, all the 28 by 28 neurons present in the input layer are connected to all the neurons, 32 neurons that are present in the hidden layer. Okay, so are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? You are having your first hidden layer. So model dot add, to add your first hidden layer into the model itself, you're having it dense. The model, like, the entire, like, layer, the hidden layer, the first hidden layer is dense in nature. You're having 32 neurons present in the hidden layer. You're having the input as 28 by 28, that is the image itself, and then the activation as ReLU. All the neurons present in the hidden layer is ReLU. Okay, second thing is add second hidden layer. So we'll be adding a second hidden layer. So after this, we'll be creating another hidden layer. So after this entire thing, we'll be creating a second hidden layer. This hidden layer also has a lot number of neurons. These are 64. 64 neurons are present. Again, this is dense in nature. So all the, like, nodes present in the hidden layer are first hidden layer are connected to all the nodes present in the second hidden layer. So that basically makes it dense in nature. So it will look something like this. And 64 neurons are present in the second hidden layer. Okay, so you are having 64 neurons present in the second hidden layer. It is dense in nature and having an activation function as ReLU. We have already dealt with activation function in the previous class, not going to repeat that. Okay, then you are having your output. You are having your output layer. Okay, so you are having an output layer of 10 neurons. Activation is equals to softmax. Okay, so again, going back to the entire thing. So after this as well, okay, so I'm just going to rub this particular line of code. After this as well, you will be having your output. Okay, you will be having your output itself. The output just has 10 neurons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then 10. Okay, you are having your 10 neurons in the output. These are also dense in nature, so all the 10 neurons are connected to all the neurons present in the hidden layer. Okay, so that's also dense in nature. There are 10 neurons present in the output layer, and the activation right over here is softmax. Okay, the activation is softmax. If you guys remember, the softmax activation function looked somewhat like this. It is having a softmax activation function with the highest being 1 and the lowest being 0. Okay, so basically it tells the probability of a particular image being 1 or a particular image being 2. It basically tells you the probability of the entire thing. Okay, ReLU, if you guys don't remember, the ReLU basically looked something like this. Okay, you were having a particular line, 0 in the entire, like, below 0, and then x is equals to y. So that was basically ReLU activation function. Okay, okay, so now the activation, so we are just going to create this particular model. This will just create the model running this particular line of code. Okay, then moving further, we want to compile the line of code. So this compile, this is beyond your scope, beyond the scope of this particular bootcamp, But try to think of this as just like whatever model that you have created, whatever architecture that you have created, you're going to pack it into a particular model, like whatever like fine tuning that you want to do, that will be done by this particular compile thing itself. Just write the exact same thing. You do not have to do anything, any changes to this. Just write the exact same thing as it is. This line, do not change it at all. So model.compile, loss is equals to categorical cross entropy, optimizer is equals to Adam, and matrices is equals to accuracy. Okay, I'm not going to explain it. Just think of it as just packing the entire model and telling it that, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to use this. Okay, that's it. So not for you, beyond the scope of this will be bootcamp, but try to understand that you are just compiling the entire model that you have created at this particular point of time. Just run this particular line of code and that's it. Then you are going to get a summary for the entire model. Like you are having a dense layer, so you are having your, first of all, the first hidden layer, you are having your second hidden layer having 64 neurons, and then you're having your third, like the output itself, you are having your 10 neurons in the output. So this is just a model.summary. Writing model.summary will give you the summary of the entire model. The model is sequential in nature. It is having 2 hidden layers, as you are able to see, and 1 output layer. In this simple neural network itself, you are having 27,882 neurons in total. Okay, 27,000. You are having almost 28,000 two variable, or more than 2 variable, even like tens and hundreds of variable equations that are present. So that's the main thing. This is so complex. The mathematics behind it would be so complex in nature. Okay, so now we'll be training the entire model. So now you have created the student, you have created the guidebook, you have created the test. What you want to do is you want to tell the student to go and read via the training module, that is go and read via the guide itself. So to do that, you will be writing model.fit, okay, just to train the entire thing. You will be training it on the train data set itself. So that is X train as the data and Y train as the labels associated with that particular data. You will have the validation split. Okay, so validation split, do we want that? No, we do not want that. So we'll just remove it right now. So having your train data, Y train data, so Y train will be the labels. You are having your epochs as trend. So you want to tell the model that go through the guidebook 10 times, read the guidebook 10 times, and in one go you want to read only 100 pages. Okay, are you guys able to understand? You're having like a guidebook of 60,000 pages. Okay, so you're telling the model to only read 100 pages at a time. Okay, complete the entire book by just reading 100 pages, and then at the end, once you have completed the entire guidebook, you have to repeat the entire process 10 times. That is what you are telling to the entire model itself. I'm just repeating myself once again. You are having the guidebook. Think of the guidebook as your training data itself. What you're telling to the model, what you're telling to the student is very simple. You are telling the student to read 100 pages at a time. Okay, batch size equals to 100 pages. That means read only 100 pages. You are having 60,000 pages or 50,000 pages in the entire guidebook. Read only 100 pages at a time. Okay, so in 100 pages, you will have to read it like 500 times. Then you will be able to complete the entire guidebook once. Then you have to repeat the entire process 10 times. You have to repeat the entire process, this entire process of reading the entire book 100 pages at a time, like to complete the book itself. You have to repeat the entire process for the entire book at 10 times itself. Okay, so you'll be training the model in this particular way. Okay, so there is some problem in the code. Let me just see that. Shapes this and this are incompatible. Okay, so there is 2. Where is this 2 coming from? I just rerun the entire code once again. I think so there's some problem in the middle. And this should do it. Okay, so it has started like running the entire thing, as you are able to see. Okay, so epoch, like I said again, go through the entire data set 10 times. That is the main thing, like there via the example. So it took 20 seconds to complete the entire training. So it went through 50,000 images 10 times, okay, in just 12 seconds. Okay, are you able to understand? It went to 50,000 images 10 times. Okay, are you guys able to understand? Okay, so now we will be testing the score. So how well did. Okay, so we have to like evaluate the model itself. We want to take the test. Now the model has learned everything. Okay, now the model has learned everything. Again, like the data set, I've told Sri Lakshmi, please go through the entire video. The dataset is being imported from Keras itself. We do not have to download anything or just use this particular line from Keras.datasets import mnest, and then data is equals to mnest.load data. This is how you will get the data itself. Okay. Okay, so now we have told the entire like child to like read it from the book. We have already told it is like working everything right now. It has learned everything right now. Now we want to test the entire thing itself. We want to test the entire thing. So for testing the entire thing, we want to create a particular score. Okay, model.evaluate. So it will evaluate the model on the test data. The student hasn't seen the test data up till this particular point of time. You only gave it the training data to learn from. Okay, so it will print out the scores for you, and that is like 0. So that is giving us a 96.9% accuracy on the test data. It is giving us a 96.9894% accuracy. That is a huge accuracy. 96.94% accuracy on the test data. Okay, on the test data. Are you guys able to understand this at this particular point of time? On the test data, you get 96.94% accuracy. Okay, that's huge. And that's it. That's the entire thing. That is the entire thing that you have to make. Okay, so the entire project, how to submit it, just go to Google Colab. Okay, just like how to make the project. I'm not telling how to submit the project. I'm just telling you guys how to make the project. This will be in the video as well that I'll be uploading at 12 o'clock. Still, I'm just showing you guys how small the project is, just to make you guys understand that this can be done in like 15 minutes. So I'll just create a new notebook in Google Colab. It will take me to a new website. It will create a new notebook for me right over there. Okay, so this it is just taking some time. Okay, once it has been done, what you have to do is you just have to like write the entire thing by yourself. So this will be the first line of code. You will be having like be importing the mnest model. Okay, once it has been imported, like the data set has been imported, you will be defining the training and the test data. So that is the so this is counted as the second line of code itself. So a second line of code. So 2 lines of code up till this particular point of time. Then you will have to just like write this particular line of code, reshaping the training data. So you will have the reshaping the training data. You will be running this particular line of code. So right now 4 lines of code you have written for the entire like project itself. 4 lines of code up till this particular point of time. Then you will be normalizing the values in the entire data. So once you have normalized the entire values, I'll count it as 1 line of code itself. So like 5 lines of code up till this particular point of time. Then you will be doing all the like utils, so 2 categorical and all those kind of stuff. So once you have done the 2 categorical and everything, so let's count it as like 1 2 3 4, like 5 lines of code. So like 10 lines of code. Let us take it as 10 lines of code up till this particular point of time. Then we want to import sequential and dense from right over here. So we'll import sequential and dense from right over here. Then we want to like define the model itself. In the model, we do not want to have any kinds of comments. Okay, so we'll remove all the comments from the model itself. So no comments right over here, just the model itself, the plain simple model. So just let's create the model itself. And there will be no like you don't have to write the like comments and everything, just the model itself. So this is another 4 lines of code. So this brings the entire thing to like 14 lines of code up till this particular point of time. Then we just want to compile the model. Okay, we want to compile the model. So that is 15 lines of code. Then we want to like print model.summary. That is 16 lines of code. Okay, then we want to just like model.fit. We want to fit the model. That is 17 lines of code. So that's the 17th lines of code right now. And then at the end, we just want to run the accuracy of the entire model. That is the 18th line of code. So less than 20 lines of code, 24 hours given for the entire project. That's more than sufficient to make the project. Okay, just less than 20 lines of code. You just have to make the entire same project as I've done right now. Okay, how to submit the project, how to do the project, I will be letting you guys know in a separate video that I will be creating and uploading before 12 midnight itself. So please stay tuned for the same. Okay, so only 20 lines of less than 20 lines of code you had to write, okay, just to make the entire project. That's it. That's the entire project in its entirety. This is a deep learning project that you made from scratch. You did not know Python, you did not know programming languages, and you made this entire project from scratch with an accuracy of 96.98%. Okay, 96.88%. Okay. Okay, so only only 15 to 20 minutes are required for making the entire project, but still 24 hours. So you have a lot of time to make the entire project itself. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. How to submit the project, where to submit the project, that I will be telling you in the separate video. Where to write this code, you can come to Google Colab, make a new notebook. So in Google Colab, just go to a new page in Google Colab. So collab.research.google.com. There it will be opening you to a new page. You just have to click on new notebook to create the entire notebook itself. Okay, you just have to create new notebook, and that's it. That's the entire thing. Okay, so that's it, guys. I'll be showing the attendance link right now, forms.google.com. Creating a form right now for you guys. So we want the day 7 attendance. Yesterday I forgot to take in the attendance itself. No matter what, I'll just utilize the same link to mark the attendance for today. So day 7 attendance for Python and deep learning. So last day, guys, last moment for us as well. So that's the main thing. The responses are open. You will get a response as well. That's checked. Link, shorten URL, zoom in. You can take a screenshot for the same to get the entire thing. You will have to wait for 1 to 2 weeks to get the certificates at the bare minimum. It takes a lot of time. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can use Jupyter Notebook as well, but those people who do not have a laptop or a tablet as well, they can utilize the same thing from their mobile phones as well. So that's the main thing. Okay. So thank you so much, guys, for being with me. If you guys have any questions related to the data analyst training and internship program or the full stack development training and internship program, you can reach out to me on my WhatsApp number, and I will help you guys out with that. The next bootcamp is going to start from tomorrow, so you will be able to see me there as well. Once again, the same face for the next 7 days. So yeah. So that's the main thing. If you guys, for the student influencers, we'll be starting to circulate the if you want to join the student influencer program, we'll be circulating the Google form for that from tomorrow on all the WhatsApp groups as well as the Telegram channel, so you can join in from there as well. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being so patient with me and trying to be with me as well, trying to learn everything. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. My WhatsApp number, I've already told you guys, 7016416673 is my WhatsApp number. If you have any problems with the training and internship, you can reach out to me. We usually do not provide any kind of doubt assistance at this point of time, because to provide doubt assistance to 20,000 people will not be possible for me at this point of time. So right now, if you have any questions related to the data analyst training and internship program, do let me know on my WhatsApp number, and I will help you guys out. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for being there with me, and have a wonderful day ahead.